Okay, and then after that you need to do superficial palpation, uh, like and after that you need to
Jangan
do
bisa
deep
nanya,
palpation.
Bos. Okay.
So in deep palpation you can palpate a little bit deeper, and in deep palpation you can palpate for the and if there's any if the patient is having any liver enlargement or any spleen enlargement,
Mm-hmm.
and we can even check for the ballotment of the kidney.
Okay.
Have you understood so far, Alex?
Yes, doctor.
Do you have any doubt as so
Yes, doctor,
far?
I wanted to ask you, where is, I have heard about McBurney Point. Where is that?
Actually, Alex, it is one third lateral and two third medial, like between anterior superior iliac spine and the umbilicus.
Okay. So it is
So
inner one third or outer one third?
outer one third.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
So the significance of McBurney's point is that there is a tenderness and pain over there when someone is having appendicitis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what will you do then?
So if you see that it's having tenderness, then we can do tests to see if the patient is having appendicitis or not. Further investigations.
All right.
And whenever patient is having any tenderness, we can see that patient is having some pain. So by that we can see that he is having pain. So we can give painkillers after excluding all the contraindications.
Okay.
So Alex, can you summarize what we have studied, what you have learned today?
To the next station.
Okay. Your time's up, Dr. Umair. And it was a very good attempt. Before I add some points, I would like someone else to speak and criticize him for his own benefit, what he has missed so far.
I think I missed about exposure.
I think he didn't ask the specific thing the Alex would want to know first.
Yeah, he did not ask me specifically what you want to do today and what you want to learn today. Yeah, good point.
And
I think we must also, like, before proceeding any abdominal examination, we need to have a general inspection, examination of the hands, eyes, mouth, and then we have to proceed to abdominal examination.
Okay. Yes, good point. GPE. But I think he mentioned about vitals and general physical examination before telling about the examination. Yes, I remembered now. He told that. And he was also telling about findings you can look for in the hands. He covered that portion a little bit. Okay, what else? Okay, okay.
While doing the palpation, we always have to look at the patient's face. And we have to, like, pick it up if the patient is wincing or something like, I don't know, like, if we mentioned or
Good.
not. Maybe I
Good
didn't
point.
hear.
Yes, that is a very good point. On palpation, you need to look at the patient's face to look for any tenderness. Okay, good point. Okay.
And also, I think you prompted the gentleman to go towards
Yes.
explaining appendicitis. He didn't have anything in mind. He didn't start with anything until you asked.
Yeah, management part. Dr. Umair, he had forgotten about it, so I gave him some clue so that he can cover some management as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So overall, your performance was very good, Dr. Umair. A few things that you can improve here is that I want to mention those. So you gather data, but the signpost for data gathering and signpost for anatomy, it was jumbled up. Like you asked me, do you know about the anatomy? And then you start talking about data. You start talking about data gathering. You have to ask from the patient this. So proper signposting to know your patient and also the examiner what you are going to do next. you were talking about anatomy in that time, you could have explained the quadrants and then talk about data gathering. It's totally fine. That it's not like this. If you have to do data gathering before starting the anatomy or anything else, you can cover your data gathering in between. Where you can fit it anywhere in your station, but it should be relevant with relevant signposting. Okay, Dr. Umair?
Yes, yes.
You signposted for anatomy, like any idea about anatomy at that time? You should have, I told you no, you should have told me about the, either you can tell about 9 compartments like this, or either you can, if you can summarize them as a quadrant thing: upper quadrant, lower quadrant, right upper quadrant, left quadrant, right lower quadrant, left lower quadrant. Like this, you can also use any one of these things. And you have pen and paper in the teaching station, so you can draw these things on a paper and you can tell him, oh, on the draw this square, make 9 compartments and tell him there on the piece of paper. It will save your time.
Yes.
You can do this as well. And after that, talk about data gathering. You did it right. You told about presenting complaint, past medical history, and like you covered it well. And when you are jumping onto the examination, you mentioned about GPE and vitals, right?
Yes.
I think GPE, you can just verbalize that. Don't tell the findings of GPE. If you have asked previously from the patient what exactly he want to learn, and he want to learn abdominal examination, so you can just verbalize about GPE, and you can even say that we can cover general physical examination on some other day, or after this, after I teach you abdominal examination, we can cover general physical examination. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Then move to the abdominal examination. And when you were talking about the subject steps, that those 6 things, you don't need to explain them because he is a medical student and he knows these things. So just name them. Don't spend too much time on that.
Okay.
Tell him, like you can say, tell your patient about the proper exposure, explain the procedure, explain the position to the patient, ask him about any pain, and then tell him about chaperone and gain consent. Don't explain these things because you are not talking to your patient here, you are talking to your colleague. So just say name all these things in one line. Don't spend too much time. Okay. You move to the actual examination part. First, I told you that I know inspection, palpation, percussion, auscultation. Start from inspection. You will do inspection from foot end.
Okay.
Tell your colleague that ideally we would like to do inspection from foot end. So rest of the things were same, like you told, swelling, mass, scar, distension, rash, these things, whatever you can see, comment on that. And when you are moving to the palpation, you will talk about temperature and tenderness in all the 9 compartments or in all the 4 quadrants. So when you are talking about tenderness here, it's better to do management, relevant management. You can pick anything. You can pick cholecystitis, you can pick appendicitis, you can pick ascites when you are doing the if you are a distension part, and you can pick ascites over there and you can explain management of that. But I think ascites will be a difficult topic. So it's better to stick with the pain. Either pain in right iliac fossa, either pain in right hypochondrium. Tell the patient, any idea if there is pain in this quadrant, what should we do? And he will say no. Then tell him, if there is pain in right hypochondrium, then there are specific structures over there. So we should think about those structures. Like there is gallbladder there, there is pancreas there. So the hepatitis can present with this kind of pain. So say it is pain due to gallbladder, cholecystitis, then we will do certain investigations, blood tests. We will do imaging and scans. We will admit the patient. If he is in very severe pain, we will admit him, start him on some IV fluids, and we will involve the senior, and we can think about surgical option as well. cover the management, a brief management. Don't need to explain everything, just brief outlines, the steps of management.
Okay.
Okay, mention about investigation, mention about senior, mention about admission or referral, mention about the medical or non-medical or surgical option available, and also to relieve the pain, symptomatic treatment. You can just say, we will give patient the symptomatic treatment, we will involve the senior, and we will see if he needs any surgery or not.
Okay.
Okay. We are done with the temperature, tenderness. Tenderness, we come to know about tenderness on superficial palpation. So if you are not covering this point, you can talk about mass as well when you are doing palpation. Deep palpation, if you find a mass, comment on the size, shape, and this and of the mass. And you can cover hernia here. If you find a mass here, you can cover hernia. The abdominal hernia, like you can take your station to any in any way you want. What topic you think you are good at, cover that in your management.
Okay.
You can modify your station in that direction. Okay.
Yes.
Similarly, after the third part of the palpation is organ palpation. We will be looking for liver, kidney, spleen, bladder. Most of the time, you will be at 6 minutes, you will be at this point, and you will not be covering rest of the things most of the time. So it's okay. At 6 minutes, complete your thing. Like if you were talking about liver palpation, you can complete that thing. And you can say, similarly, we will be also palpating for spleen, kidney, and bladder. But before that, is there any question in your mind or anything? Everything is clear so far. So you will signpost and move towards the ending of the station, summary of the station.
Okay.
So is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so if you have time and you have moved to the percussion, then obviously you will percuss, and then you can cover ascites here. You can mention shifting dullness, and then you can percuss organs as well. But most probably this will not be the case. By 6 minutes, you are mostly at the palpation part.
Yes.
Okay. And
Okay.
ideally, to complete the examination, we will be doing digital rectal examination. We can see hernial orifices. We can do genitourinary examination. You can mention that if you have somehow covered all the examination part.
Okay.
And this is one way you can cover any type of data gathering, any type of management in your station. I'm just giving you my way of doing that. So anything you are good at, cover that thing. Because you don't need to make mistake. You just so it is wiser to cover the thing you are good at. Any questions so far?
No, thank you so much. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
You are welcome, Dr. Umair. And at 6 minutes, patient can ask you different questions. Sometimes he will ask you about McBurney point. Sometimes he can ask you about Murphy sign. Sometimes he can ask you about rebound tenderness. Sometimes he asks you about rigidity and guarding difference. And sometimes he can even ask about this deep inguinal ring position, these kind of things. So it depends upon your patient. If you give him time to ask this question, then he will be asking these questions, and you will get higher marks if you cover his concerns as well.
Okay.
Okay, the difference between rigidity and guarding. So this is a commonly asked question in this station. Spasm or rigidity is the difference is only the involuntary and voluntary contraction. So rigidity is involuntary tightening of the muscle, which is due to underlying inflammation like peritonitis, etc. Guarding is the voluntary contraction to avoid the pain. So remember this word, voluntary, involuntary.
Yes.
All right. And
Yes.
Sorry, could you repeat that, doctor? I could not listen. Sorry.
what this rigidity and guarding?
Yeah. That voluntary, involuntary thing.
Okay. So rigidity is the involuntary contraction of muscle. If there is something wrong inside the tummy, like if it is peritonitis, if it is bleeding peptic ulcer, something happening inside the tummy, then it will be the involuntary tightening of the muscle. But guarding is like patient is having appendicitis, he is having pain. So he will voluntarily contract the muscle to avoid the pain. That's
Okay,
why we
thanks.
ask the patient to relax themselves. Guarding can be anywhere. Like if we are doing joint examination, they can
Yeah,
do the contraction. That's why we ask them to relax.
yeah, they try to flex knees and those things. They
Yes,
try to.
yes,
Yeah, okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the only difference is this voluntary, involuntary thing.
Dr. Fuad, I felt like I was just talking at home. Did you feel like that I was talking and not involving the colleague?
Sorry, can you repeat, Dr. Umair? I couldn't hear.
I felt like I was talking and talking, like I was just talking. And did you feel like I was just talking or involving the colleague also?
Actually, Dr. Umair, it was okay. Like this is not the real exam. I am not in front of you, but when your colleague is in, when it is a two-way communication, like face-to-face communication, then things are
Yes.
a little bit changed, and you will perform better there. You are seeing your colleague.
Yes.
And one way of involving is asking him questions from time to time, simple questions about from time to time, and you were doing that. You can even improve them by making some more questions in your mind.
Okay.
But you were involving me. I don't feel that you were not. Or if you are unsure your colleague is following you or not, you can ask him from time to time, is everything clear so far? Are you with me? Are you following me? These questions. But if he is giving you response like he's saying, okay, this and that, then it means he's involved in your conversation.
Okay.
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
Okay, it's for Dr. Umair. Generally, the way he speaks, things are not very clear. His words are jumbled together, and it's a person has to concentrate a lot to say know actually what he's saying. So I would recommend that he puts some space between the words, like he's saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Like that. So it's better for the examiner to understand what's being said, because all of us have accents, so we have to work on them. So it's just a general tip for all of us, but I noticed it in Dr. Umair. I hope it's okay to point it out.
No problem. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That's a very good tip, Dr. Saira. And obviously, we are here to improve ourselves. So
Yes.
any comment is
Yes,
not
yes.
a personal kind of comment. It's just to
Ji.
improve.
Ji,
Not
bilkul.
at all.
Right.
Dr. Karat, can you please describe how to actually tell our colleague about and explain about deep inguinal ring and superficial inguinal ring in like just a little sentence? How to do that?
You can say like deep inguinal ring and superficial inguinal ring. They are the openings of inguinal canal. Inguinal canal runs between these rings, if I'm not wrong, because actually I always mess this up. So it's better if I can confirm this and then I tell you in the group. Is it okay? Because I'm not sure about their location. I always forget their location.
No, that's absolutely fine, because I'm also very like always got problem with this. And if, for example, in my exam, this colleague asked me about this, and I'll be totally like messed up. And I just want like a very simple one-liner answer, so that I'm able to remember it, and I can like tell them that this is what it is.
I so
can
very
just,
agree. If given a choice, I would never pick up the inguinal examination on
Same
my own,
here. Same
unless
here.
asked. Unless
I
asked.
have never been feeling confident in that examination.
you
It's
can
too
just say
complex.
that I need to make sure about them, and I'll check and confirm and get back to you about that later. Then
Yeah,
Yeah, if
somebody
you are
can
not
post
sure,
it.
then obviously
Yeah.
that's a good line to say when you are not sure about anything.
Can we say that in the exam?
Yes.
Yes.
If you are not sure, if you are unsure, then don't say wrong thing. Don't say
Okay.
like it is a kind of misguiding your patient. Don't do that. It's okay to say that. I will get back to you after talking to my senior about this, or I will check it with my book.
Even I was asking to the students, can we say that if we're teaching the students?
Student, like in this station teaching?
Yeah, in the teaching station to a student, can we say when we are not very clear about something that we'll get back to?
Yeah,
Then.
if he is asking you something and you are not sure, don't tell him wrong thing based on assumption. It's better to say this and excuse, like say sorry and tell him that you will confirm it with your book and then you will tell him.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So although I have made 2 more stations, so we can quickly cover them. Meeting
Yeah,
time is
Dr.
just
Firas.
7 minutes. So Dr. Maya, you can read the task, although there is not much to read in the task. Just know about your name and status of your colleague, and then we will be starting new meeting. You can take the screenshot.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.